we got to have a conversation. And look, I'm as guilty as anybody. Let me say this, right? So I got vaccinated. I went and lived my life, did my thing, taking multiple trips, doing whatever the hell I want. I'm all over the place all the time. No, it doesn't mean it's risk-free. It's not. You can get vaccinated. You can still get COVID. But what you generally or almost exclusively don't get is you don't go to the hospital. So that's a win. So last 10 days, I've been away, and headlines build up, and I don't get a chance to talk about them. Now, that's the blessing and the curse of vacation. But I had a conversation with Rico last night to prepare him for this topic. Here are headlines. These are things that are happening. They're not opinions. They're happening, okay? A Yankees game was canceled because of a COVID outbreak. Factual. L.A. County is reinstituting a mask mandate. It's factual. Whether it's right or wrong, factual. USA basketball, COVID outbreak, multiple players ineligible. USA tennis, outbreak. Coco Gauff, gone. A gymnast, gone. Multiple countries losing multiple athletes. The Olympic Games, ruling that fans, not allowed. Out, over, empty. And you're seeing SEC Media Day today where they're saying we don't have the vaccine numbers. And it's your responsibility. So if you can't play, you're forfeiting games. Now, I want to be clear about this, Rico. All I am saying is this. I'm not doing this whole panic routine. I don't know what the future holds. I don't. But when you begin to hear about all of these things together, and you hear the SEC following the Big 12 saying, look, it's your responsibility to not get COVID. We're going to move on without you. They're begging people to get this vaccine. And these college teams are just not where they need to be. And let's face it, the South and Southeast specifically are among the worst offenders in this vaccine drive. The numbers are nowhere where they need to be. And this Delta variant is going to be a blitz on them. All right? So here's what I worry about. I mean, Rico, you and I are supposed to go to MSU Northwestern. There's no qualms about it. I'm not worried about going. Yes, I understand going, that there's a risk, but I am vaccinated, and if I do get it, I know I'm not going to the hospital, and I know I'm not going to get seriously ill. So I would be willing to take my chances. I don't know about that trip September 3rd, because I don't know where we'll be in 30 days. 60 days from now, you and I have discussed going to MSU Miami. Friend's 40th birthday weekend down there. Lives in Florida. What a fun time. I don't know about 60 days from now. And the thought process is this. If conferences, and if a major power broker in college football like Greg Sankey is saying, hey, we do not have the vaccine numbers, right? We do not have enough people vaccinated. Can you imagine doing the shows we did last fall again this fall where, oops, Alabama, Florida, it's not canceled. Florida had to forfeit. And once again, we're talking about a season that will lack credibility and an emotional connection. So here's my question to the people, and then I turn it to Rico. What is your concern factor about our sports being interrupted as we now watch this oncoming tidal wave of the Delta variant? We know what parts of the country are vaxxed up better than others. We know battle lines have been drawn. I'm not really interested in going there because you're not going to convince me and I'm not going to convince you. But the bottom line is this. I am coming to grips with something that I do not want to come to grips with, which is we are not out of the woods and our sports are going to be impacted again. And that drives me insane. I want to know where you guys are at with this. 248-539-9797. You can take a text at the same number. Here's what I ask. Don't yell at Kenny. Kenny didn't do anything wrong. Kenny's going to take your phone call. That's a service. That's like walking into a restaurant and yelling at the waiter when the food hasn't come out yet. Don't do that to Kenny. Kenny's a very nice man. 248-539-9797. Rico, the floor is yours. I think I've laid it out pretty even Steven there. Go ahead.
No, you did, Mike. But here's the thing. we can't go backwards because I think most people heard that we were all clear. You could take your mask off. You don't have to wear them anymore. You can do whatever you want. They're not going to put the mask back on. We're at a crossroads right now, and talking to some people who worked on the virus, on one of the vaccines, they had the exact same conversation where they didn't know where we're headed because this thing could turn and get ugly. You got some spots in California where, they got to put the mask back on. I don't know if you'll be able to have full stands like we thought we were going to have. You thought, okay, well, but you can have full capacity. It's outside.
Right.
Maybe not. The unfortunate part is we're working on the honor system here in the United States. No, we talked about this last night. At no point has anybody ever said, excuse me, sir, can I see your vaccination card? We just assume you don't have a mask on, you're walking around, you're okay.
I have a picture on my phone that I have never had to show anybody since I was vaxxed in April. Mm-hmm. That is insane.
Yeah, and for the SEC, this is problematic because if you take a look, the Mayo Clinic has a breakdown of the map. So this ain't leaning one side or the other. Mayo Clinic doesn't care. They're just
right. This isn't Dave on Facebook.
Right. Yeah. SEC country, fully vaccinated, probably Florida, believe it or not, is the highest state at almost 48%.
Because of the old people. There's a lot of old people. You got to factor that in. And Rico, here's the thing. I all I know is right here, right now, you are seeing unvaccinated people get bludgeoned with this Delta variant. It is putting younger people in the hospital. That should scare people. It won't.
Yeah.
But I really think things could get worse than any of us imagined, and I'm guilty. I've lived in a fairy tale land the last 90 days since getting vaccinated and just lived my life. These headlines the last 10 days, and the fact that a game I wanted to watch was canceled, or the fact that the Olympics has been upended, the fact that the SEC is coming out and saying, hey, and Rico's nailing it, guys, like, it is what it is. The South and Southeast are going to get pummeled. So as that's happening, are we seeing full stadiums? Are we going to see SEC games straight up forfeitures?
No. But yes, and you're going to see full stadiums, but that may lead to your forfeitures. If you don't have precautions in place, the SEC's not backing down. Alabama's going to squeeze everybody they can to watch those games. Georgia, everybody.
And Rico, I'm not arguing the right or wrong thing. We're not doing a virtue debate here. Not going to do that. What I'm saying is, do you believe your sports will be disrupted? And then if you want to take it to different places, we can hold hands and go those places. I'm basing this in sports because the headlines have largely been sports. And you're seeing this. And COVID, it's like getting a call from your uncle who you haven't spoken to in 6 months. I feel like that phone rang this week. And I'm telling you, if you haven't done some of the reading, like, this variant has nothing to do with the original virus. This is much more transmissible, and it's more dangerous to younger people. And that's really concerning because as long as we allow this stuff to continue to mutate, you give yourself a chance that this thing could mutate into something that could put us back to square one. Now, that is a worst-case scenario. I'm not a doctor, and I don't know the odds of that. But I just know that's how the smart people view it and why they beg people to get vaccinated. It's either that or so we can get a sweet microchip and I can get winning bets from Bill Gates. I don't know. Believe it or not, 1 in 5 Americans believe they're getting microchipped.
Well, Mike,
it's idiocracy.
When you look at Alabama and see that only 33% of the state is fully vaccinated, that could be problematic.
It could be incredibly problematic, Rico. And that's, again, we are dealing in two different things now. We're not doing a March of 2020 COVID show. I'm talking about the sports angle to this. Now, the tentacles of this topic will end up in real life, and that's okay. But I am actually starting to be concerned. I'm not predicting. I'm not, this isn't me or Rico throwing the gauntlet down and saying I want Cade Cunningham. This is just looking ahead. I'm starting to question some of the plans I am supposed to be making for the fall because I do wonder about where we're going to be at.
Mike, I feel like I did in the first 2 weeks of March when you heard about, well, this coronavirus thing. I wonder how serious is this really going to be? A lot of people were saying, oh, we could shut the country down. You're like, nah, we ain't shutting down the country, bro. They'll figure something out. And I remember going to the senior day at Michigan State, Cash's last game. Everybody's around. It's a festive party pretty much. And then 2 days later, nothing. Tumbleweeds blowing in the street. I'm having that same feeling now, thinking we can't possibly go backwards. There's no way we're going back to mask and we're going back to all these safety protocols. But maybe we are.
And again, forget about the masks and the protocols and all that. And again, it's going to be an election year and it's going to be politically weaponized. Whatever. All right, just keep that out for right now. The idea that Rico and I could sit down as two vaccinated human beings to watch Alabama, Florida, only an hour before kickoff to know that Alabama has forfeited the game because of, 24 players having COVID. Dude, I thought we were done with that, but we're not. That is what my question is to you. 248-539-9797. Do you believe your sports are going to be upended by another wave of COVID? I with the headlines of the last 10 days, I'm becoming concerned. And I want to make sure I'm very clear, Rico, right? Even Tom the Lab understands. I'm not predicting it. I ain't yelling and screaming about it. I'm getting a growing concern